How is that possible? Why would a top-tier premium American oil costing a whole lot more skip the one certification that says it's officially approved for your car? Your first thought is probably, well, maybe it's not actually good enough. Maybe it failed the test, or maybe you think it's some conspiracy with big car makers shutting out the little guy. The answer, it turns out, is no to both. It's not about failure, and it's not a conspiracy. It's about the expensive truth of what that little stamp really costs, what it represents, and what it means for your engine and your new car warranty. Today, we're digging into the entire system of OEM approvals. We'll break down why these boutique brands often choose to go their own way. By the end, you'll be able to decide for yourself whether that missing logo is a red flag or a sign of something even better. If you're someone who cares about protecting your vehicle with real facts instead of marketing hype, hit that subscribe button right now. Section 1. What is an OEM approval, really? Before we can get why a brand would skip an approval, we have to understand what it actually is. Most of us see a logo like generic oil approval and think it's a performance award, a stamp of quality given to oils that aced a tough test. And while testing is a huge part of it, that's not the whole story. At its heart, an OEM approval is a business-to-business licensing deal. Major car manufacturers develop incredibly specific and secret tests for their engines to handle unique demands like preventing low-speed pre-ignition in turbo engines. They test for holding up over long oil change intervals and not killing sensitive emissions gear like catalytic converters. There are really 3 levels of oil specs. At the bottom, you have industry-wide standards from the American Petroleum Institute, or ILSAC. They give you the basic ratings. A step above that is the European ACA standard, which is often stricter about oil durability. But the top tier is the OEM-specific approval. This is where a carmaker says, the general standards are nice, but my engine is special. So manufacturers like GM, Ford, and BMW have their own long lists of codes. To get one, an oil company can't just cook up a great oil. They have to formally submit their exact formula to the carmaker for testing. And this is where things get expensive. Getting a single oil formulation approved for a single OEM spec can cost anywhere from $50,000 to well over $100,000. And for some complex European tests, even more. That's not a one-time fee either. That's often per formula and per spec. So if you want your 5W30 approved for 5 different car brands, you're looking at a massive bill before you've sold a single bottle. And it doesn't stop there. After the oil passes, the oil company then has to pay an annual licensing fee to use that logo. For a giant global brand like Mobil 1, Castrol, or Shell, these are just business expenses. They sell hundreds of millions of gallons and supply the dealerships and quick lube chains where having that logo is mandatory for warranty service. They can spread that certification cost across a colossal volume, so the cost per bottle is tiny. So when you see that Dexo's approved logo, you're seeing the result of a very expensive certification and licensing process. It's proof the oil company paid the carmaker for the right to use their trademark after passing their test. It's a stamp of compliance, sure, but it's also a commercial transaction. And that is the first big clue as to why American boutique oil company might just say, no. Thanks. This brings us to the real heart of it. The business models for brands like AMSOIL, Royal Purple, and Lucas Oil are totally different. Their target customer isn't the person getting a routine oil change at the dealership. Their target customer is you, the enthusiast, the performance nut, the person who does their homework and seeks out a product they believe is better. Take AMSOIL. They built their company on a direct-to-consumer network, pioneering long-drain synthetics back in 1972. Their model skips the big retail stores and dealership supply chains completely. They aren't trying to win a contract to be the factory fill oil. They're marketing directly to people who care more about independent third-party test data than a logo on a bottle. For them, spending the millions it would cost to get every one of their oils approved by every OEM is a terrible investment. They'd rather put that cash into their formulas and publish their own data showing how they meet or exceed performance requirements, even if they don't pay for the official sticker. Then you have a brand like Royal Purple. They got their start in the industrial and racing worlds, making lubricants for equipment where failure meant catastrophe. Their reputation was built where OEM passenger car approvals were totally irrelevant. All that mattered was surviving conditions no street car would see. When they moved into the consumer market, they brought that over-engineered, high-performance philosophy with them. They've always focused on their unique Cinerlec additive technology, but they've strategically picked up some OEM approvals where it makes sense. Like getting Dexos one for their standard motor oil. For their other lines, like the high-performance HPS series, they focus on other priorities. And what about Lucas Oil? Their story started in the heavy-duty trucking industry. They built a huge following by making additives and oils designed for the brutal, non-stop life of a long-haul truck. Their whole philosophy is about creating tough, problem-solving products. They focus on a customer who trusts their reputation over a certification mark. However, they also hold key approvals like GM Dexos One and Ford WSS on their synthetic oils because it's good business. But they don't chase every single European spec, because their core American customer base simply doesn't demand it. The biggest reason they skip many approvals is pure economics. For these brands, the cost-benefit just isn't there. They're betting their customers understand that meets performance requirements is functionally the same as officially approved, without paying massive licensing fees. Section 3. Formulation freedom. The advantage of not teaching to the test. The second reason is formulation freedom. When a company chases an official OEM approval, they have to teach to the test. They have to design their oil to pass specific parameters, and sometimes that means making compromises. Wear protection is huge, but it has to share the stage with conflicting goals like fuel economy and protecting emission systems. Modern gasoline particulate filters require low SAPS or mid SAPS formulas. SAPS stands for sulfated ash, phosphorus, and sulfur. These elements come from anti-wear additives like ZDDP. ZDDP is a legendary additive amazing at protecting metal parts under pressure. The problem is, high levels of it can slowly clog up emissions equipment over tens of thousands of miles. A brand not chasing a specific OEM approval can say, "My goal is maximum engine protection, not 500,000-mile catalytic converter life." This lets them use a more robust additive package, sometimes with more zinc than a strict OEM spec allows. This freedom also applies to base oils. Boutique brands often build products on Group 4 PAO and Group V ester-based stocks. PAOs are made of perfectly uniform molecules. They don't break down under extreme heat and flow better in the freezing cold. Esters are awesome because they are polar, meaning they naturally cling to metal parts, giving protection on a cold start. A boutique brand can choose to build a no-compromise formula because their customers will pay for that ultimate performance. Section 4. The Warranty Question and the Magnuson-Moss Act. Will using a non-approved oil void my warranty? In the US, we are protected by the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. This law makes it illegal for a company to require a specific brand. Legally, a dealership can't just see Royal Purple on your receipt and void your warranty. They have to prove the oil caused the failure. That's the law, but here's the reality. If your engine suffers a catastrophic failure, you might enter the warranty gray area. The manager looks up the oil and sees it's not on the OEM list. They might deny the claim, saying you used a non-approved fluid. According to the law, the burden of proof is on them to show the oil caused the failure. But in the real world, the burden can feel like it's on you to fight them. AMSOIL will back you up with tons of data showing their oil meets or exceeds the spec. But you're the one who has to present this to the dealer, escalate it to corporate, and maybe even get a lawyer involved. Most of the time, the manufacturer will eventually honor the claim. But it can be a stressful, time-consuming fight all while you don't have a car. This is the real-world risk. It's not that the oil is bad. It might be far better. The risk is the potential fight with a service department that is either ignorant of the law or just looking to deny a huge claim. These boutique oil brands know this, and that's why they provide extensive data and their own product warranties. They are ready to go to bat for you. The question is, are you prepared for that potential battle? Conclusion. Who is this for? Making the right choice. So after all that, what's the bottom line? We've seen that the missing OEM approval on these oils isn't a sign of poor quality. It's a strategic choice driven by a different business model, a desire for formulation freedom, and a laser focus on performance over mass market compliance. Deciding whether to use them really comes down to two questions about your situation. First, is your vehicle still under its powertrain warranty? If yes, and you want the absolute zero-hassle, sleep-easy-at-night path, the answer is simple. Use an oil that has the official OEM approval listed in your owner's manual. Pick a great product from Mobil 1, Pennzoil, Castrol, or Valvoline that carries the right certification. That way, if something goes wrong, there's no argument. You buy peace of mind. Second, is your vehicle out of warranty, or are you a performance-focused owner who values maximum protection? If that's you, then the world of boutique oils is wide open. Brands like AmSoil, Royal Purple, and Lucas Oil offer products that deliver truly exceptional and often superior engine protection. Their formulas are packed with high-end ingredients for enthusiasts who demand the absolute best. If you choose this path while still under warranty, just be smart about it. Keep every receipt. Save the technical data sheets for the oil you use, which show it meets the performance requirements for your car. You are well within your legal rights, and having your paperwork in order is your best defense against a potential dealer dispute. In the end, that missing logo isn't a red flag. It's a statement. It's the brand saying they chose to invest in what's inside the bottle instead of the fee for a logo on the bottle. It signals that they trust their customers to value performance data over marketing deals. And for the right person, that's not just okay. It's exactly what they're looking for. Now I want to hear from you. This is always a hot topic, and everyone's situation is different. What are you driving? Is it under warranty, and do you stick to OEM-approved oils? Or are you out of warranty and running a boutique oil you swear by? Drop a comment below with your car and the oil you're using. Let's see what everyone is running and why. And if you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into car care.